Hi, I'm Alice Bull from Scrapbook Wonderland. Today I'm here to talk to you about embossing with stamps, otherwise known as heat embossing. Heat embossing is a really awesome technique. Once you see it, you're going to love it. It allows you to add a thin layer of plastic onto your project wherever you need, and it looks amazing. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to talk about is embossing powder. Now, embossing powder is a collector's dream, so be careful. You don't need every single color and every single type that's out there. The versatile ones are the ones you want just to get started. After that, you can go a little bit crazy. So, versatile colors. I would recommend having a clear detail, a white, a black, and silver and gold. That's all you need to get started. And you can have a lot of fun. The next thing that you're going to need is a heat tool. Now, this heat tool is designed for this purpose. It heats to the right temperature and it doesn't blow tons of air so that it doesn't blow the powder off your page. If you try using your hair dryer, it's going to blow all of the powder off of your page and you're not going to be very happy with the results. Get the right tool, save yourself the time, and they only cost about 30 bucks. So the next thing you're going to need are stamps. And you can use rubber stamps or acrylic stamps. Both of them work just fine. Whatever design you want to use. Super detailed stamps, you will have a harder time. You need to use very fine embossing powder, and even then the results may or may not be what you're looking for. Generally, most stamps will be fine though. The next thing you're going to need is some sticky ink. Now, when I say sticky ink, what do I mean? I'm talking about craft ink or pigment ink. You're going to want ink that when you stamp it onto your page and you pour the powder onto it, it's going to hold some of that powder so that when you melt it, it stays in the right place. Some extra tools that would be handy to have around would be your paintbrush to brush off extra powder that sticks to your page, some sort of tool just to keep a small piece from floating away as you heat it. And I really like working with an embossing buddy. These are available. They're simply a little chalk bag that puts a fine coating of powder across your project. It keeps extra powder from sticking where you don't want it. So let's get started. We're going to take a piece of paper and we're going to actually put a large piece of scratch paper underneath it. We'll coat both surfaces with our embossing buddy. If you don't have an embossing buddy, you can use a used dryer sheet, lint sheet. It helps to remove some of the static so the powder won't stick to it. Excellent. Now we're going to stamp with our sticky ink, either a craft ink or pigment ink, or Versamark. Versamark's really handy for this. Stamp your image. Now make sure you ink it up well. You don't want to be stingy with your ink. Next, we're going to pour on our powder. You also don't have to be stingy with your powder because you're not actually using as much as you dump on there. Tap off the rest so there's no excess. If there is a little excess, take your paintbrush and brush off any excess that's sticking where you don't want it to be. We're just going to set this aside and we're going to dump this excess powder back into our container. right. Now we're going to take our image and we're going to do the heat tool. This is the fun part. It's like magic. Now when it's heated enough, you'll actually see the change, and you can see exactly which parts have changed and which parts haven't. Once everything has changed, don't keep heating it. You're done. Give it about 20 seconds just to let the plastic cool down, and then it's good to go. Look at that. Beautiful, shiny, and when you touch it, it doesn't rub off. Here's some examples I created using the embossing technique. You can create titles, custom backgrounds, add shine like I did with the pear on this Christmas page. Embossing adds a great textural feel for cards. Embossing also works well on vellum. Add details to other page elements like the spider web that I added to this H. You can create your own custom border. Mix embossing powders and try thicker textures to create a new look, like I did when I created this water effect. You can emboss on an album. Just be sure to test an area first. So the next time you want something creative for your scrapbook pages, give embossing a try. This is Alice Bull from Scrapbook Wonderland. For more great scrapbooking ideas, visit scrapbookwonderland.com.
It's almost out of batteries.
Oh. Crap. I think I smiled first, so I think I did. Okay.